All right, chapter 7. The Corey Gorsid. To you, Nathaniel, son of my brother Will Smith, and to Andrew, his half brother, I leave 2 books of integrity and others in portions. The bare words are unimportant, but what they convey is as jewels in a crown of gold. Yet even this is not the crown itself, which should be sought in the Carnamard at Nantaladwin. I am not an unlettered man, but I lack the virtue of subtleness in writing of things best hidden. Inasmuch as the ferocious blood seekers close in upon us, and Christian folks do in their zeal deem it fit to claim for their own persons innocent blood, persecuting them with ratchet, rope, and brand, even unto death, I charge you, my assigns, to protect the several holy books, even unto your death, believing full well that evil cannot triumph over good, and the dark days of fear-born hatred will pass. Keep them secure under the most sacred oaths now forsworn. The said holy books, of themselves innocent, fill the base hearts of our enemies with craven fear, even as the lamp-bearing lackey causes scuttling among the rats in the larder. What dire secret do they hide closeted within their breasts, occasioning such terror that limbs quake when innocent wisdom is mentioned in their presence? In all the land no place remains comfortable, and the free-spirited are as hares hunted by whippets running into the tail-bearing wind. Before the doomsmen come, we make our peace and can await our call to sacrifice in patience. The jewels are safely hidden. These things which follow are found in the book of recitals. There are 3 adornments of life: love, truth, and beauty. There are 3 things of which God is the source: life, wisdom, and power. There are 3 things which men must get from living: the greatest benefit, the greatest knowledge, and the greatest experience. There are 3 causes in which it is fitting that men should risk their lives: in establishing truth, in upholding justice, and in seeking liberty. There are 3 paramount qualities to which all else should be subordinate: love, truth, and good. There are 3 things men should place above themselves: their faith, their race, and humankind. There are 3 things a man should value above his life and possessions: his family, his honor, and his reputation. There are 3 principles of government: effective security of a life and person, security of possessions and dwelling, and security of personal rights. There are 3 things a government must hold inviolate: a man's family, his dignity, and his opinion. There are 3 things the government must provide: education, justice, and safety. There are 3 pillars of the state: the questing scholar, the diligent craftsman, and the incorruptible official. There are 3 unities: one God, one truth, and one creation. There are 3 things for which the earth exists: the development of souls, the fulfillment of the destiny of man, and the manifestation of life. There are 3 things man must give to life: beauty, stability, and harmony. There are 3 things women must give to life: love, goodness, and compassion. There are 3 things only God can do: constantly renew himself in the infinite circle of eternity, remain unchanging while impregnating every state of changeability, and encompass everything existing. There are 3 things required of men: the ability to change that which is changeable, to accept that which is unchangeable, and to know the difference. There are 3 virtues of maidenhood: prudence, modesty, and decorum. There are 3 virtues of wifehood: faithfulness, industriousness, and motherliness. There are 3 graces: faith, hope, and love. There are 3 things to know about God: he must be sought for, he cannot be given anything by man which increases his greatness, and he dwells within his own law. There are 3 rights of man: freedom to move, to enjoy privacy, and to speak his mind. There are 3 things God requires of man: effort, courage, and reverence for the sacred. There are 3 duties of woman: to reproduce the race, inspire mankind, and beautify life. There are 3 duties of man: to protect the race, strive for progress, and elevate humankind. There are 3 things which distort the soul: malice, deceit, and sensuality. There are three rules which govern a man's relationship with others: what he requires in another, what he forbids in another, and what he regards with indifference as being entirely the concern of another. There are three things which shatter a man's life: an unfaithful wife, invasion by foreigners, and a crippling disease. There are three principles of greatness: obedience to the law, concern for the welfare of the community, and the ability to suffer with fortitude all the blows of fate. There are three states of being: that of God in the great circle, that of spirit in the outer circle, and that of matter in the inner circle. There are three duties of parenthood: to protect, to cherish, and to educate the child. There are three duties of a child towards its parents: obedience, respect, and loyalty. There are three qualities of a husband: consideration, protectiveness, and care. There are three essentials of manhood: courage, fortitude, and honor. There are three qualities of womanhood: loyalty, decency, and gentleness. There are three jewels of womanhood: modesty, decorum, and circumspection. There are three prime qualities of the real man: the ability to maintain self-control, the ability to remain calm under stress and provocation, and the ability to not stand too rigidly upon his rights. There are three things in men that other men hate: saying one thing with the mouth while holding something quite different in the heart, withholding evidence in favor of another to the detriment of another, and spreading scandal and gossip. There are three things that hold the state in cohesion: effective protection for everyone and their property, just punishment when due, and a proper blend of punishment and mercy. There are three obligations of men in war: to kill and not be killed, to destroy the enemy and his possessions, and to survive the onslaught. There are three types of persons who cannot bear arms: a bondsman, a boy under 15, and a public idiot. There are three kinds of stone for which removal is death: a council stone, a session stone, and a guide stone. There are three things the punishment for which shall be greater than a simple death: killing a kinsman, killing a child or virgin, and killing an idiot. There are three things for which the trumpet sounds 3 times: the counting of heads and numbering of families, the horns of harvest, and the horns of war. There are three persons who can demand hospitality: the traveler from afar, the afflicted or orphan, and the bard. There are three groups entitled to freedom of movement and maintenance: chiefs of tribes and their retinue, druids and their followers, and judges and the retainers of their courts. There are three types who can claim citizenship: those who bring new land under cultivation, those who work with metals, and those who bear arms. There are three basic protections: protection of life and person, protection of possessions and dwelling, and protection of natural privileges. There are three types of persons who forfeit life: one who betrays his country, race, or kindred, one who kills another through viciousness, lust, or gain, and one who injures a child for life. There are three things which are indivisible and unchangeable: the supreme being, truth, and reality. There is one God, one truth, and one reality. There are three necessities of man: change, suffering, and choice. There are three tests to determine a free man: he has equal rights with every other man, he has no more obligation to the government than it has to him, and he has freedom to come and go. There are three things essential to united nationhood: the same language, same rights for all, and the same race. There are three things which are private, untouchable, and sacred to every man: his wife, his children, and his tools of trade. There are three persons in the family exempt from menial or heavy work: the small child, the aged man or woman, and the sick and afflicted. There are three civil birthrights: the right to free movement, the right of protection for family, possessions, and liberty, and the right to equality in privilege and restriction. There are three requirements for social stability: security of life and limb, security of family and possessions, and security of traditions and culture. There are three foundations of the nation: national solidarity, national courage, and national pride. There are three things a man can legally be compelled to do: fulfill his family obligations, attend a law court, and serve in the military in times of national peril. There are three things for which a man can be called a traitor: aiding the enemy, meekly submitting to the enemy, and betraying his race. There are three things no law can deny: water from a spring, river, or lake, wood from a decayed or naturally fallen tree or branch, and unused stone. There are three forms of sonship: a son born within a marriage, a son born outside a marriage but publicly acknowledged by the father, and a son by adoption. There are three types of thieves not to be punished: a woman compelled to steal by her father or husband, a young child, and a starving person who steals to eat. There are three things which must remain open and free to all: rivers, roads, and places of worship. It is said that Alfred the Homeborn rewrote these things, but it is also said that what was is lost, and he puts this in.